Greetings, friends. This is Elizabeth Schermer with a full moon message for the Leo moon and lunar eclipse that happens at 5:27 a.m. Pacific time on Wednesday, January 31st. I will be pausing perhaps regularly throughout this message to take a breath. And breath is the biggest and deepest and most important practice we can have right now. Things are heating up here on Earth, literally, and what I'd like to do today in this message is talk to you about the significance of what's happening and give some practical tools that you can hold in the coming days as you adjust to the changes and shifts that are happening in your life and in the life of the world around you. So I want to start with a special envelope I have from the lunar eclipse that was exactly 6 months ago. Well, around 6 months ago. It was on August 7th. But the reason I said exactly is because this was the Aquarius full moon in Leo. And tomorrow morning early, we have the Leo full moon in Aquarius. I have this envelope because this has been on my altar ever since. The Aquarian full moon in August was an incredible time of activation and expansion of consciousness of what we're all here for, of the significance of this lifetime, and how we are each stepping into new awareness of what we have to contribute. The star card represents Aquarius, and it expresses perfectly the opportunity that we each have now to expand into our own illumination and our own understanding and our own awareness so that we can step forward as individuals and as a collective to contribute what we can toward the new world that we are creating together. So the sun now is in Aquarius, and the opposite sign of Aquarius is Leo, and the Lust card in Strength and Other Decks, called Strength and Other Decks, the Lust card represents the creative fire and strength and power of the energy of Leo. And so as our full moon is in Leo, the light of the moon is illuminating our awarenesses of who we're becoming and what's possible in our lives. So this is a picture, if you work with the cards, a picture of the energy of the full moon with the moon in Leo and the sun in Aquarius. And I want to set the stage a little bit for this spread because of the significance of what's happening now and the fact that our previous lunar eclipse was in Aquarius, and now 6 months later we are revisiting that expanded consciousness and the opportunities we accessed with the same polarity with now again the sun and moon in Leo and Aquarius. So our Leo full moon is going to give us a new sense of power, of encouragement, of determination, and an infusion of confidence and clarity about what we can do to contribute moving forward. The signature is pretty inspiring. Oh my goodness. That was my phone buzzing. Okay. Let me just take a breath here. Okay. 2 weeks ago, we pulled a new moon spread, and the full moon always brings illumination to whatever the signature for the month was. And the card in position of circumstances 2 weeks ago was the Tower. I'm bringing this forward now because the Tower has come up for me 5 times in personal spreads over the last 2 weeks and with many people I know. And so the signature of this month is the fact that we are aware of the changes. The Tower represents the dismantling of form. And what I want to say about this, and it was in the position of circumstances for this month, is that we are very aware that forms and structures are being dismantled in our world. That's no surprise. What the Tower signifies on a transcendent level is the release of structures that have imprisoned us. So the biggest value of this expansion is new freedom. freedom can be disconcerting because of the abrupt nature sometimes of these expansions. However, the Eye of Horus at the top of this card is signifying the fact that there is an overarching and overseeing harmony to the changes, and that we have access to that within, to that sight and clarity when we connect within. So this is a big signature right now, and I'm bringing the pattern forward because we're going to directly receive guidance in the spread behind us now, on the altar behind me, for receiving new support and help with the energy of the full moon. The card I've been working with, and the teaching I received this morning related to the tower, is the frequency of freedom that comes through release can be thought of as lightning. And so for those of you who work with the cards, I've been working directly with the Eight of Wands in preparation for our new year, for the dog year. And this is called swiftness. It represents the swiftness of illuminated consciousness, the activation of consciousness, and the way it even feels like lightning's running through your body. And so there's a need right now for us to run all the energy and run the eagerness and run the change, sometimes the shock of unexpected events, to run that through our body and still maintain our equilibrium, which is the octahedron in the background. If you work with crystals, fluorite, the crystal fluorite is embodied form of the octahedron. And the energy of the octahedron is air. It's the element of air, and it's breath. And it's with our breath that we return to coherence, which this form represents. We return to coherence and strength. And then when we return to coherence and strength through our breath and through our heart, we're able to participate in the illuminated expansion that's happening. Okay, long story to prepare you for the energy of the spread today. As I was meditating on the chart and the message before I pulled the cards, I was guided to go to a crystal deck that I was recently gifted by a good friend and pull a card for my own preparation to drop in and receive the message. I shuffled the deck. Guess what dropped out? Flew out. Fluorite, which is what I was just showing you, and the tool I've been working with breath over the last 2 weeks. And so this is a direct synchronicity to encourage all of you that we do have access to the help and support we need, and it's as close as our breath. Okay, so knowing all this, I dropped in to feel the signatures of this moon, that chart, that the signature of the chart, and I asked for a message to support each of us as we step into the light of this full moon. The signature of the sun in the full moon is a literal signature of ascension and the process we're in. The sun is, the signature of the sun is the symbol, the Sabian symbol, is of a group of people on a vast staircase, all like standing at different levels of this staircase. And what that represents is the quality of us rising together. No matter our stage of development, no matter our perceptions, no matter our level of information about what's happening, we are rising together. And it's just such a beautiful image of cooperation and commitment to the collective. That's the overall infusion of frequency of this moon. And the moon itself is in the opposite symbol in Leo, is of a group of people relaxing on a summer evening with under the light of beautiful lanterns. And so they're at a party. And so there's an image here of grace and ease and quality of celebration that implies our ability in the midst of this process of expansion and accelerated growth, our ability to commit to our collective and commit to finding commonality in grace and ease and the beauty that naturally exists around us. This is a really big message. It's a big teaching. It's what we are, what we're called to engage in now at the launch of our new year of the dog, which comes in a few days. it's time for us to commit to kindness in our heart and to commit to the equality of cooperation and collaboration, regardless of the levels of development of all those around us, or the levels of life and the different circumstances and different teachings, different worldviews. We're rising together. That's the energy of this full moon. There's an awareness of forces of aggression and abusive power, and a similar and an equally strong signature of a commitment to learning to connect with inner authority and learn new ways to assert our own healthy power, which is absolutely the Leo moon. So it's big. I've been really feeling it, and I know you have too. So what I love to say here today is that we received a very practical message today to affirm what and how we can show up. And the first card in the center of the spread is the Six of Swords, Science. The Six of Swords in the position of awareness represents your awareness of the way the grids work, the way consciousness works to create reality and to create our ability to perceive reality. This is the higher meaning of science, which is understanding the laws of harmony and the way things work in the universe. So this card today emerged reversed. It looks very similar because it's a harmonic design. It came up reversed to signal our awareness of the dismantling of the grids and the fact that we can sometimes be in confusion about how to get oriented when things are changing so fast. It's not always easy to connect to an ordered realm of thought, which is the swords, an ordered realm of awareness when everything is changing around you. And today is different. Your world today is different than it was yesterday. Again, swords are the element of air, which the highest power of air is breath. So it's also a reminder that when you feel out of coherence, when things feel disorganized, and when your awareness has lost focus, a reminder to step back into breath. Move into your heart. The heart breath is a key, maybe the key power practice in times of change, in times to maintain constancy throughout your daily life, and it will become a key point of practice for all of us this year. And the most basic way to talk about the heart breath is to return awareness to your heart by imagining that it is your heart that's breathing. Okay, so the first point of awareness in the center of the spread is the fact that the grids are changing, our structures are changing, and so sometimes our minds and our awareness also loses focus or loses coherence. In the position of circumstances, we received a very specific message related to what I was just talking about. The Two of Swords, peace, could also be called silence. This is the card for meditation. This card 2 weeks ago appeared in the full moon spread opposite the Tower. The Tower was the recognition of circumstances. Two of Swords was in spirit saying there's help for you to return to inner calm. And now this card is moved into circumstances, and meaning that it's time now for us to use that practice, regardless of whether we're feeling disrupted by something external or something internal. The reminder is to choose calm, to do what you can to return to calm. And again, breath is the easiest way to do that. You all have your own practices. I will just say that breath brings you back home. Now, all the way over in the position of spirit, great synchronicity about our Leo moon, the card for Leo, strength and lust. And this is, again, the luster for life, your commitment to your fire, your alignment with your courage, your alignment with vitality, an infusion of creative force that supports you in showing up, in stepping up, and in committing to the light that comes from within. The fire of Leo rises from within and infuses you with vitality. And so that's the basic signature of this moon. It's a message of support, and this card came up reversed in the spread when I pulled it, and this was a very specific message to remind you now that we are learning about power in new ways, and you can take your attention away from abuses of power, which are predominant everywhere. Know that those forces are dismantling, and choose to learn about new forms of power from within. We are learning together. It's not that we don't know the path ahead. We're journeying together and learning together how to express power in healthy ways and how to create new structures of power in our collective and on our earth. So this is a really empowering message to appear in the position of spirit, because it means that we'll be receiving the support we need in the coming days to learn about power and to learn about our own creative energy and how we can harness that energy in order to contribute to the world we're all building. And then, I always pull one more card. Where's the big one to show you? I always pull one more card asking if there's anything additional for us to learn. And we got the Three of Discs works. So the Three of Discs is another practical advice card encouraging you to show up. The Three of Discs represents inner determination and willpower to align from within in order to connect your body, mind, and spirit. The three wheels that you could imagine them spinning. Three wheels connecting your body, mind, and spirit so that you can come to congruence and come to harmony and then take action. Three of Discs. Discs are the element of earth. So this is the commitment to take action to align within. Do you see, can you tell in the card the top view of the tetrahedron? And this is another reference to that quality of coherence, of bringing yourself together within and then being able to show up to whatever forces of change are happening without. So breathe, celebrate your life, celebrate the beauty in the moment. Remember the message of calm mind and that you can always find beauty in the midst of the most challenging circumstances. When you move into your heart will tell you what you need to know. The heart is the mind that runs the brain. When they're connected, the heart rules the show of our body and our life here. And so breath is the way we connect the brain and the heart. I encourage you to connect with your friends and with your community and with your loved ones at this full moon. Celebrate the infusion of new potential. When we have an eclipse, you might remember that a portal opens and we are able to transcend normal unfolding of time and space. So the next few days and weeks will be times when we can make huge evolutionary shifts. And this happens with the collective. It's the image of what's happening in the age of Aquarius. And so we have another lunar eclipse infused with the energy of Aquarius that is helping us move up this stairway of evolution that we're on. And I thank you for participating in this message, and I wish you a really incredible full moon celebration. And I'll be in touch again soon with messages for the dog year and for the Aquarian new moon that happens in a couple of weeks. So happy full moon. Have a fantastic week.